Welcome back to another tier list video. Today we're doing every single enemy from every single game, each iteration, all in one tier list, the definitive tier list for every enemy. I'm going to assume every single enemy is here looking through, it seems that way. But let's just get on with it. We're starting off with the Halo Combat Evolved Hunters. The first ones to introduce the Hunter Dance, iconic, and yeah, they broke ground. And they did have the good old Hunter Dance. I'm going to put them into A tier for that. Halo 2 Grunts. I'm going to use C tier as the ranking for enemies that are overly good or overly bad. They're just there. They're not bad, definitely not. They're there to fight. You take them down throughout the game. They're fun to fight, nevertheless. So that's just going to be there for just, sort of low ranking fodder. So the Halo 2 standard Jackals, yep, low ranking fodder. Elites, we'll be going with the same. Ranger Elites, however, they've got some unique flair to them, haven't they? With the ability to fly, so yeah, I'm going to put the Ranger Elites into B tier just for the sake of them being more unique than the bog standard. Ultra Elites, very irritating sods, and definitely a lot different to the lower grade counterparts. Zealots. Zealots are stronger. You don't see them that often, though. Throughout the campaign, they are a rare sight, but when they do come at you, you've got to pay special attention to them. Halo 2 Heretic Elites, again more of a standard fodder. The Heretic Leader, he just is another ranger, but at this time he's got the ability to clone himself into other ones. Yeah, he's above the ranger, he can come up here. The Halo 2 Sentinels, you've got two ranks, haven't you, the Sentinel Captain or whatever with the blue beam, but I mean, I think they'd come in as a fodder sort of rank. Combat Evolved Grunt, again, fodder rank. Here we go, I was waiting for this. So there's a raged rank up here for obviously enemies that have made you severely rage. That firmly belongs in there, there will be no arguments about that, I am sure. And the Halo 2 Hunters, I'd say the Combat Evolved Hunters were better than the Halo 2 ones. Because again, they used the beam cannon over the fuel rod, which is much easier to deal with. They are pretty beefy hunters in fairness, but yeah. I think they can go in B tier, they're below the Combat Evolved ones. The Halo 2 Elite Honor Guards. They're worthy of going in rage, that is the question, because in the regret fight, when they're infinitely coming at you with energy swords, they are very, very annoying to deal with. But they're not too hard to take down, are they? Now, do you know what? They can go in S tier, because I do love the design as well. They've got very, very nice armour. The drones. Drones are definitely more unique than the standard fodder enemies and are a rare occurrence. I'll put the drones can go in B tier. I think that's fair for them. Yeah. Halo 2 Regret. Floats around on his chair, fires some beams. Not overly innovative, but you can go on and punch him, which is always fun. You can come up with another boss fight there, I think that's fair for him. Halo 2 Brutes. The Halo 2 Brutes are arguably the best Brutes we've had out of all the games. For the sake of being absolute beefy powerhouses. A bit bullet spongy, but I mean, they're a threat on Legendary. And I think they're worthy of S tier, Halo 2 Brutes. And the design as well. Chewbacca's running around. The Halo 2 Flood. They can come under the category with the sort of fodder enemies, They don't have like specialised ranks like they do in Halo 3, the Enforcers. I think the Enforcers can go in S tier. It's a shame we haven't seen them return in Infinite, although I actually thought we would be seeing them, but I guess not. But I think Enforcers are definitely worthy of S tier for the unique abilities and how they fire. They've got the shields and they can obviously destroy vehicles. Tartarus. A very, very underwhelming boss fight for the build-up to the conflict between him and the Arbiter, like throughout the game. You'll be going in D tier. Is that worthy of him putting under the fodder now? Yeah, he is just annoying. He's not really that fun. You've got to wait for Johnson to take down his shields to actually do any damage. It's not a very good boss fight. I mean, in fairness, 2004, attempting something new. But yeah. The Halo 3 Grunts. They were the first Grunts to have the ability to run at you with plasmas, which makes them a bit different, but they are just fodder. I mean, they can pilot vehicles as well, but so can Elites. Combat Evolved Jackals, again, they're just Jackals, fodder enemies. 3 Jackals, fodder. Low grade Brutes, fodder. Upper grade, that does include Cloaked Brutes, which I think can bring them up to B tier over the lower grade ones. And they're more likely to have, say, Brute Shots and that kind of thing. The Halo 3 Chieftain squads, as a package with the bodyguards and the Chieftain then. I think that's worthy of S tier. Fighting a Chieftain was always fun. And then you also had that one unique encounter where there's that one lone Chieftain. He's actually got a name which I don't remember, who offers you out for a 1v1 at the end of the arc. War Chieftain, Beefy Chieftain, they are the higher ranks, but they're just... they're not overly groundbreaking, are they? Is that fair? Nah, do you know what? They're a rare occurrence. I'll put them into A tier. Halo 3 Flood, is that just... nah, right, the variations here, these are just standard Flood. They go under the fodder rank. Stalker Flood. They run around, they're annoying. They don't really do anything until they transform. These are sort of like the mid-ground for the pure form. We'll put them in D tier. Tank form. Tank form could come up to... they are unique enemies, aren't they, in fairness? The way you've got to slow down, you've got to remember that, oh, they're weak to fire, they're weak to swords. You know what you need to do to take care of them. You've got to sort of adapt, so it does change up the flow. They could go in A tier. I think A tier is fair for the tank form. Range form, Rage for me. Legendary, Cortana, a wall full of them, and you've got essentially nothing to take them on with. Yeah, they can go in Rage. Scarabs, S tier every day. There is no argument about that. If anyone disagrees with that, you're wrong. I don't care. Lower grade Combat Evolved Elites, fodder rank, you know. Sentinels. Well, put the other ones in C tier, but the Halo 3 Sentinels are a lot more diluted and dumbed down than the Halo 2 ones, and there's only one rank and they're just there. And the beam is just weaker. D tier. You only fight them in the, like, towards the end of Halo anyway for a tiny little bit, and then they'll sort of shoot at you on the Warthog run with not much effect. Halo Reach Grunts. I did like the variations in design for Reach Grunts. And you get a lot more of them coming in with heavy weapons, don't you? So I think they can come up to an extra level just for the sake of these unique designs being introduced over the, you know, the just colour changes from before. I think that's fair. Halo Reach lower grade elites, again, fodder, they can come into that tier. Elite Ultras. Oh, can come at you with swords, can come at you with concussion rifles, dual wielding plasmas. I think A tier for them. I really do like the design. They're not quite S tier for me. Yeah, the Elite Rangers, they're definitely cooler than the bog standard enemy. Spec Ops, you don't see them often, cloaked elites, but they can come into... they've got a cool armour design. Yeah, they can go in here. Zealots, one of my all-time favourite elite designs. They get to a lovely, firmly in S tier for me. Reach Jackals, just bog standard Jackals. Hunters. Now this is when Hunters got stronger. Much stronger. They started firing fast fuel rods coming at you. I'm going to put them into B tier though. They're not quite combat evolved ones, and that you can do the iconic Hunter dance. The Gooters. Very unique enemy, but not overly too hard to take down. You only get to see 2 of them throughout the whole campaign on Nightfall. But they are cool and unique. They can come into A tier. Everyone liked the Gooters, didn't they? Yellow Combat Evolved Stealth Elites. They weren't overly too irritating to deal with the glowing sword. I mean, they could have plasmas as well, but they are unique. They can come up into... they can go into A tier. I think A tier is fair. Skirmishers get to go into S tier. They got a downgrade for coming back in Infinite. In Halo Reach, the Skirmishers were amazing. Absolutely loved them. Generals, iconic armour, very beefy enemies. Are they quite S tier though for me? I prefer fighting a Zealot. Generals definitely belong in A tier though. They've got an iconic design and you don't see them all too often. Halo Reach Brutes. Now these are just a poor iteration of the Brutes. I'm going to put them in E tier, I think, for the normal standard Brutes, but the Chieftains, I do love the design of those chieftains. They're not quite S tier, but they can come into A for me. I did like the Brute Chieftain design, but they weren't unique like the Halo 3 ones. In fact, when they come with an entourage, it was like a squad of 4 chieftains, which was a bit less creative. Field Marshal. You only see one of them throughout the whole campaign, and he's got the Zealot design, but cooler. He's got these little spikes or whatever. But the one Field Marshal you see throughout the game is the one that attacks you in Winter Contingency in the cutscene, with the music. This is the guy who killed Cat, as well as you eventually fight him at the end of the mission when after Emil's died and 6 is moving up to the Mac gun. So for the sake of being an iconic foe with an actual story to him, it's essentially the main boss, the main enemy of Reach. You can go in S tier. Halo 4 Grunts, F tier. Disgusting little creatures. Halo 4 Jackals. You had some unique Jackals coming in for this, with the being able to use storm rifles. I mean, I'm not personally not a fan of the design change though. I prefer classic Jackal, but they are not a terrible design. I'm going to put them in D tier. Halo 4 Elites, F tier. I would have moved them up a bit for the Zealots, but I mean, just the designs of what the rest of them look like. Big clunky messes, no. Halo 4 Hunters. A hunter's a hunter, they're not bad. They're not... I mean, I think they had a bit of a faster melee. A bit unfair, actually. But we'll put them in C tier. They're sort of... I mean, they're not quite fodder, but they should be lower tier than the Reach ones, I think. Crawlers. They can go in the fodder tier. They're not bad, they're not good. I mean, you've got some variation with they have the binary rifle, which bumps them up a bit. Combat Evolved Zealots. Rage. They are a force to be reckoned with on Legendary, I'd say. Halo 4 Knights. Did not like Halo 4 Knights. They were so irritating to deal with. You try and aim at them, they teleport to you while you do a bit of damage. They're just a nuisance. Watchers weren't terrible, but they were just there. They did shield the Knights and they threw grenades back, which makes them unique, but they were just irritating. Now the Didactyl as an enemy does exist, but you don't actually really fight him. More as a cutscene, quick time event sort of thing. I don't know where to put him in terms of that. I mean, obviously I like him as a character, but you don't really get a fight, do you? He just comes at you in a quick time event. You press some buttons, press RT to fire machine gun. There you go. If you know, you know. Halo 5 Grunts, also disgusting little creatures, F tier. Halo 5 Jackals can go with the Halo 4 Jackals. They were the first ones to talk, which I still don't know if I find that overly off-putting or not. Halo 5 Elites get to go with Halo 4 Elites because they are just relatively the same. Halo 5 Hunters get to come into A tier. Halo 5 Hunters are actually the first Hunters. Obviously, one of them goes down, they become enraged, as well as different ways of firing. They fire off the little projectiles that are sort of like, well, they're not actually needlers, but they sort of track to you like a needler does. For them being different and unique, they can come into A tier. Halo 5 Crawlers can go with the other Crawlers because they're just, fodder. Halo 5 Knights, an absolute mega upgrade from the Halo 4 ones. I like the Halo 5 Knights. They were fun to fight. They were actually enjoyable. Promethean Soldiers teleport around, kind of annoying, but I mean, you had them coming at you with hydras and stuff, which made them unique, but they are fodder. Combat Evolved Flood comes into the fodder rank, they're just there. Not bad, not good, Flood. Halo 5 Watchers can go with the other Watchers, more just irritating, they're just a Watcher. Warden was fun to fight the first time, it got a bit annoying 8 times later, didn't it? Just for the sake of him being annoying, D tier. Halo Infinite Grunts, the return to form. The design coming back round from whatever these two abominations were. And you've got the unique ones there, you've got the Disruptor ones, you've got shielded Ultras, you've got the ones that carry weapons, B tier for them. Good Grunts, not... Are they worthy of A tier? Nah, they can come up there, they are new forms. Halo Infinite Jackals, fodder. Halo Brute Miners, Infinite, fodder again, Captains. They've got the packs, and then they use Ravagers, a jumper, they are unique. Sniper Brutes, again, they are unique. They can come into the B tier, I think that's fair. Lower grade elites, fodder. The annoying thing about Halo Infinite elites for me was, yeah, you can do that thing where you can pop them in the head before they actually activate the shields. But obviously, to indicate that shields are activated, they're always glowing blue, which, you know, I prefer just being able to see the elite instead of them glowing like that, just personal preference. Tremonius, beefy jetpack brute, pretty much. It was an alright fight though, in fairness, and he had the bulldog and the hydra, didn't he? So that made him unique. Is he worthy of S tier? No, he can come into. I think A tier is fair. Elite Ultras, the amazing design coming back, and they can also go into Cloak. They can come with the other Ultras. Prefer the Reach Ultra over the Infinite one, but still, it's an Ultra. Rocket Flood, Rage. Well and truly Rage. That is where the Rocket Flood belong. There's no arguments about that. Infinite Spec Ops, they're much harder to see than previous generations of Spec Ops. Iterations. Yeah, they're much more unique and harder to see. Obviously, you got the threat sensor, which removes the threat, hence the name. Halo Infinite Spec Op Elites can go with wherever the other Spec Op Elites have ended up throughout this list. Yeah, I think they're worthy of A tier. Yep, yeah, they'll definitely belong up there. And of course the design comes back from Reach, the iconic design. Although it is a bit different in fairness, isn't it? Well, whatever way, they belong there. Warlord Elites. The General coming back, they can go up in here. Yeah. Don't say, I mean, yeah, they're just stronger elites, aren't they? And they can still do the cloak and sword thing. Chaklock. Chaklock was a good fight. But my thinking here is Jaeger's going to come up later. They are similar. Where could I put... I think Chaklock, I'd like to put him in S tier, and he is a fun fight, but for the sake of it's not fair to put him and Jaeger on the same level, I'm going to put Chaklock up in A tier. The Halo Infinite Berserkers, a unique new enemy. I did like the Berserkers. They can come to B tier. Halo Infinite Hunters, bog standard, these are the normal ones. They are like the Halo 5 ones and they are a fun fight, so the Halo Infinite Hunters come to A tier. Ardent Hunters, alright, these are the beefy boys. They are annoying on Legendary, they're quite rage-worthy though. I've gotten annoyed at them. Me personally, I have been annoyed at them if I haven't had the heavy ordnance take them out, so they can go into rage. Yeah, that's fair. Halo Infinite Skirmishers, they're not quite as iconic as the Halo Reach ones, but Skirmishers are cool. They can go in... They're going in... Yeah, for the sake of being Skirmishers, they can go in A tier. The Halo Infinite Chieftain, now... Is this including the Ultra? No, the Ultra's there. Okay, the Halo Infinite Normal Chieftain, cool design, I like them. Yeah, they can go into A tier. I like those. These are good chieftains. They're not. Do I prefer a classic chieftain over an infinite chieftain though? That is the question. Halo Infinite Chieftains can come up there. I like Halo Infinite Chieftains. Yeah, S tier for them. Good enemies. Bassus. Might have to move you down if Bassus is coming in, because Bassus was a good fight. Bassus gets to go into S tier. Yeah, Bassus belongs up there. Maybe Tremonius does as well, because he's a good fight. I will leave it how it is. Skimmers are annoying, but they do have rockets, which makes them a bit cooler than a Watcher. But they're not a drone. Drones are better than Skimmers. Sentinels from Combat Evolved, fodder. They're not bad, they're not good, they're just there. Oh, these two. You forget that they're even part of the game, don't you? Because they just show up in some audio logs. There's no build up and the fight's just forgettable. They can go in with Tartarus and D tier. Or is it maybe E? Nah, do you know what? There's like the unique chopper and they're a better fight. Yeah, they're staying there. Right, that's that. Jaeger, loved him. Shadow the Hedgehog the Elite gets to go in S tier. Escherum was a good fight. And that a challenge as well. I mean, as a character, he was boring. He waffled his way throughout the campaign, died, and then it's like, what's the point? But he can go into S tier because he's a good fight. The real boss of Halo Infinite, the Chieftain Ultra, gets to go into Rage. Definitely for him being the final boss. Harbinger, the Harbinger are just a boring character and a boring fight. Can come in with these lot here. Combat Evolved Spec Ops Squad. So these are the ones where you've got Is it close to... Oh no, these are just the high rank elites along with some grunts with... The only grunts with fuel rods, they can come into B tier. They are unique. I think... I'm looking at this now. I mean, I can't really bother changing much around. I'd probably say this is fair. Do you agree? Do you disagree with what I've chosen here? Have I been too... Have I been unfair? Have I not been... Have I not been harsh enough? Let me know. Have I been a heretic? But yeah, thanks for watching to the end and interacting with the video and all that fun stuff. Please subscribe if you haven't. We are trying to get to 50k by the end of the year. Probably a very ambitious goal, but you know, it could happen, who knows. But other than that, listen to Johnson.
Do it. Now!